Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you to another session of our industry-oriented training program on Python for AI and data analytics. In our previous session, we were introduced to NumPy and learned how arrays provide a powerful and efficient alternative to traditional Python lists. Today, we continue our journey with mathematical functions in NumPy, an essential component of numerical computing and data analysis. Today's lecture will focus on statistical and mathematical operations using NumPy. We will explore how NumPy enables us to perform calculations such as finding sums, averages, maximum and minimum values, standard deviation, and other statistical measures with just a few lines of code. These functions are fundamental for analyzing data sets and extracting meaningful insights, making them indispensable tools in data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. Understanding these operations is an important step towards working with real world data. As datasets become larger and more complex, NumPy's optimized mathematical capabilities help us perform computations quickly and efficiently, allowing us to focus on solving problems rather than writing lengthy code. I encourage everyone to code along with today's demonstrations, experiment with the different mathematical functions, and actively participate throughout the session. The more you practice these operations, the more confident you will become in handling numerical data. It is now my pleasure to welcome our esteemed mentor and speaker, Dr. Meher Chand, Associate Professor at Farid College of Engineering and Technology, Bathinda. With his expertise in artificial intelligence, machine learning, computational sciences, and data analytics, he continues to equip learners with practical knowledge and industry-oriented skills. With great pleasure, I invite Dr. Meher Chand to kindly lead us into today's session. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, dear Faiz, for the nice introduction about the today's session. Today, the session is completely based on the mathematical functions, which will include statistical and mathematical operations using NumPy. Okay, so basic introduction about the NumPy we have discussed in the previous session, but today specifically we are using NumPy, and there are so many various functions which are very essential to understand how we can use NumPy for all these functions which are inbuilt in NumPy, and this will help us for better use for statistical and mathematical operations. So understand NumPy mathematical function. The basic outcome of this session is first is understand NumPy mathematical function, perform arithmetic, trigonometric, exponential, and logarithm functions, apply statistical function on the data set, use aggregation function for data analysis, solve real world mathematical problem using NumPy. Okay, and all these will help us which are required in AI, machine learning, and data science. Okay, so without loss of time, we can start now. I can share my screen. Okay, so I will start by taking new file. Okay. Yes, I can take here new file. Okay. So yes. So as we have covered yesterday, NumPy provide universal functions. There are so many inbuilt functions which we can use directly. Okay, so yes, first we have to require here import NumPy is NP. Import NumPy is NP. Control and enter. The library has been imported. Okay, NP. Yes, it's fine. Now first we are getting here how we can create arrays, just like I have the assignment variable. Then by using, as we discussed yesterday, np.array. Okay, then inside we can have any vector. I am taking from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Simple example I am taking here. Okay, so if print, and then we have the function np.sqrt. This function we have used already yesterday. Okay, very simple. So first thing we have to require to import the numpy library as np. Then we are required any data set. So here we are using very array. Okay, so by using this array function we can generate an array, and here we are taking the square root of each value which are inside here, and the sqrt, which is a square root function inside numpy. Okay, so when we choose any function from numpy, this is the way how we can represent first the name of the library, then name of the function. Okay, and this operation, when we will apply control and enter, we have the square root of each value which are inside in this array. Okay, so we have various categories just like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, power, mode, and there are some trigonometry functions just like sine, cosine, tangent, arc sine, which is used for inverse sine function. Okay, arc cos, arc tangent. So all these we can use one by one, and there are some just like a statistical method, how we can get the mean, median, STD, variance, minimum value, maximum value, sum, product. Okay, and how we can use the logarithm function. So all the functions are there, and one by one we are using here. So first we can have the example. Just 1 minute. One minute, please. Please 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Lecture 18. Okay. Okay. Fine. So here we are using all these functions. Okay. So see here we have the very first example. Control shift and enter. We have new shell. So suppose that some of will be similar and some will be new one. Okay, so we are using here input function a is equal to int. Then here we are using input function. Okay, then here we will enter the value, enter first number, then we have b is equal to, sorry, b is equal to int input function, enter second value, second number. Then we apply here print np dot add. This is the very simplest example we are using here, a comma b. Okay, so this will help you how we can apply the functions. Okay, so control and enter. So first we are required to enter the first value, then we are using second value. Okay, so here we are using add function. So as soon as the values will be satisfied or entered, this operation, as you can see, np.add will return the value. Similarly, the same we can use for addition, we can have the subtraction. Okay, so if you are using for the subtraction, I can copy and paste here. Very simple example. Here we will use the function name. Previously we used only the symbols, but here we have the inbuilt functions which we can use here. Okay, so here is subtract. So as we are speaking, we have the same function name, subtract, then control and enter. This is the first value, then this is the second value. So we have the answer 5 minus 2 is 3. Okay, similarly you can use for the multiplication. This is the subtraction, and this is the for multiplication. So here we have is the function is multiply, which is inbuilt function multiply. Okay, so here we can give the comment. Comment is addition, and here the comment is subtraction, and here the comment is multiplication. Okay, so control and enter 5 and 6. Okay, similarly you can use for the division. So there will be divide function. There will be divide function. Division. Example is division. Okay. So see here at this page, I will use divide. Divide. Okay. So when I will enter, this is the first value and this is the second value. So you can see when you will apply this operation, it means A divided by B. Okay, and this is the answer. Okay, if you need the square, sometimes we need the square of any number, or we can have the square of any array. So we can have the example here, square, and we can use one number only. Okay, and here print np dot square, np dot square. If you okay, a control and enter. Suppose that I have the value of a is 2, it is 4. Okay, so you can enter any value. So this will return square of the number. So these are the inbuilt functions for mathematically in NumPy, which we can use directly, as you can see here. If you want to calculate the square, power, okay, we can calculate the cube or any power. So for that we have power of any number, power function. Okay, this is the power function. So here suppose that I am entering here I will use power. This is the function which I can use here for power. Okay, but I can have power 2, power 3, power 4. Okay, suppose that I want to calculate cube value. Control and enter. So this is 2 cube. This will return 2 cube, and 2 cube is 8. You can assign any value here. If I am taking here 4 or 5, suppose I am taking here 5, and 5 raised to power 5. Okay, so okay, the value of a, suppose I am taking here n, I am taking here n, and here also I am entering n. Control and enter. This is 5, so we have 5 raised to power 5, 3 1 2 5. This is the value. Okay, if you are entering any value just like 3, then 3 raised to power 5. This is the value. So in this way you can use a power function sometimes if it is required. And for the square root we have already discussed. Okay, so for the square root or cube root, for square root, okay, we have already used this function. Okay, so here we have is sqrt. This was the very first example. Okay, and the value, control and enter. If I am taking here 25, so this is 5. And if you want to take the cube root, okay, all these are internal function in NumPy. For the cube root, we can have at this place. For the cube root we have is CBRT, cube root. Okay, control and enter. If I am taking here the value is 27, so this will be equal to 3. So this is the cube root of 27. We have is 3. And if you want to calculate absolute value, okay, for absolute value I take here new shell, absolute value. Okay, so here I have to use the function is abs. Function name is abs. So this will calculate the absolute value. Control and enter. If I am using here 2, this is 2. If again I am entering here -2, again it is 2. Okay, so when you will use the absolute value, whether it is a positive integer or negative integer, this will convert in positive. Okay, then we have the very interesting function is exponential. Okay, so for that the function name is hash exponential function. Okay, so we can enter any value, whether it is a positive integer, negative integer, or it can be float value. So we will use here float, float. Okay, float input. Okay, so we can have then print np. This is the exponential function exp. Okay, and we have to pass n. So control and enter. If I am taking the value of n is 1, so this is the value of e raised to power 1, means value of e, which is 2.782 something. Okay, so this is the actual value of e, but we can have any value we can take. uh, so the meaning of this expression is e raised to power n. Okay, so we can have 2, then we have this value. If you are entering here 0.5, okay, then we have this value. So for e raised to power n, we can compute any value, whether it is a positive or negative. For both, this will calculate, just like I am taking here -2. So e raised to power -2 we have is 0.13 and so on. Okay, so you can use the exponential function from numpy s in this way. And all the examples which I put here for uh, mathematical function, we are using NP and then name of the function. Okay, the syntax of all these functions are quite simple as we are speaking, but at some, just like we have the abbreviation. Okay, we are not using the complete full name. For absolute, we are using ABS. For cube root, we are using CBRT. Okay, so these functions you are required to keep in mind, and 1 or 2 times when you will use, this will be automatically familiar to you. Okay, and for natural logarithm, if you want to calculate natural logarithm, okay, this will take the value. For natural logarithm, what we can do, uh, natural logarithm, sorry, okay, so this will be n is equal to, we can take a float value. Okay, float input. Okay, so here if you want to mention, enter float value, enter value. Okay, so then, oh, two, and this is the way how we can print this value. Print, here is np dot log, log. Okay, this is the natural log, and pass the value n. Control and enter, cut and paste here, control and enter. So you can calculate for any value. Okay, log 1 is 0. Okay, control and enter, 1.5. So this is the natural logarithm. If you are required base 10 logarithm, we can have base 10 logarithm. Okay, for base 10 logarithm, how you can use, I will use the same statement. I am copying and paste here. Okay, but for base 10 we will use here 10. Okay, control and enter. So if I am entering here 10, so this is equal to 1. Okay, control and enter. If I am entering here 5, then it is 0.626989 and so on. So in this way we can use natural logarithm and base 10 logarithm. After that we have some trigonometric functions. Okay, how we can use, any doubt? I think there must be no doubt in this example, because these are very quite simple. Just you are required to see how we can use these functions and what are the inbuilt functions which we can use. We are using all these functions in our daily routine, but what are the syntax in NumPy? Okay, so we need to extract and keep in mind the syntax of these functions and how we can use them. So whenever you will write any code or any computing is essential for your any kind of the statistical or mathematical operation when we are required to need. So these functions will help you to write and apply this type of the functions. So now we have the trigonometric functions. Uh, we have the trigonometric functions. Okay, so if you want to calculate the sine and cosine, okay, so here uh, angle is equal to float, okay, then here input. So if I am using the sine function, print np dot sine, np dot sine, okay, and then angle, control and enter. If I am entering here angle is, sorry, this is a mistake, n is 2 times. Okay, if I am entering here control and enter 90, so sine 90 will be, sine 90 will be, okay, 0.89399. And if I am using is radian, np dot radians, radians, okay, then I have one more bracket is required. Yes, 90. Okay. So this is the use of sine function. Similarly, we can use for cosine. Control and enter. Sorry, we can have any value. Then plus, at this place we have to use cosine. So this is the cos function inside numpy. Okay, we can enter here any value. Okay, and then we have the other function tangent. For that we have tan at the place. Control and enter. Okay, I'm entering here 45. Then we can have there is also we can check the inverse trigonometry function. We have just like arc sine. Okay, here you will use arc sine. Okay, arc sine is arc sine, arc cos, and arctangent. These are the inverse values. So if I am entering here 1, control enter. If I am entering here 0, then 0. If I am entering here 90, okay, giving the nan. Okay, because the value of a sign lies between minimum and maximum, -1 to 1. Okay, so the values which we are entering, here I enter the 90 value. So that's why it is returning nan. Nan is not a number. Okay, you can see the message and runtime warning, invalid value encountered in this one, arc sign. Okay, so this is not the right value. Control and enter. We can enter the value which is less than 1. Okay, just like point, I can enter 0.5. Okay, so in this way we can enter the values. We can check them. Again, we have the next function is mean, median, and mode. How we can use them. Any doubt related to this example, you can do practice on yourself also, but the functions which are inside, you must manipulate them. And also there is a, we are using here radians, and in the same way you can use here degrees also. You can check it. I never use degrees, but first time I'm using just like radians here. But simply in the previous sessions, we used only sine angle. Okay, just like in this way. Okay, so you can check also degrees. Control and enter. Control Z. Okay. Okay, all the functions are working. So you must try all these examples which we have discussed for the trigonometry function and for the arc sign. Okay, by taking the several values, all the functions are very quite simple. But one more thing, when we are entering the value, whether these are matching the real output or not. So first verification is very, very important. Okay, so whether you are entering the radians or radian as a input or degrees as input. So according to that, this will return the value, and sometimes these are not perfect value, but just like you can see here, this value. Okay, tangent 45 must be equal to 1, but it is not exactly equal to 1, but very close to 1. Okay, 0.999. So this type of the changes may be appear when you will use all these functions. See, now if we have any array and we want to apply the statistical methods, these are also again very simple. Just like we are using here mean. How we can calculate the mean of any array? ARR is equal to NP dot. First, we are required to create the array. Okay. Then we have list function as we used yesterday. Okay. Then we have the map function. Okay. And int, then comma, then input. So this is the same way as we used yesterday. Okay. There is no difference. Then you can have the string enter number, enter number, colon, space, and here is separate function. This is essential here. Okay. Then after we can have print, and here we can use np dot mean. Okay, ARR. So here we can control and enter. We have to use any value, just like 12, 13, 14, 24, 23, 25, 26, 48, 45, 47. Okay, then enter. So this will automatically calculate the mean. Okay, sum of the numbers. Okay, then divide by its number of element or length of the array. We have mean. So here we have the inbuilt function. Directly by using these function, we can calculate the mean of array. Okay, so in the another way, the same we can use copy and enter. If we are taking the array as a list, here I am taking 12, 45, then comma 56, 23, 14, 56. Okay, so control and enter. So there are two different ways, whether you are taking the list by using the list you are getting the array, or you are using the input function. So by using the input function, you will have to write this code, and you will enter the value later. Okay, and here you have any array. Sometimes when you have the data set, okay, and from the data set you will assess any variable you want to check the mean, median, or any statistical value. So just you are required the variable name. Okay, then after you will apply the specific formula, just like mean, median. For mode there is some specific library is required, state. Then we can calculate the mode, variance, standard deviation, etc. All these we can directly calculate by using numpy, because these all are inbuilt functions. If you want to calculate here median, okay, median, for that you have to use, at the place of median mean, we have to use here median. Okay, so control and enter. Now we can enter any value here. Okay, and enter. So this is the mean and this is the median. If you want to calculate the standard deviation, if you want to calculate standard deviation, for that we will use for that we are using copy and paste here. At this place we have only std. What you will do, what you will use, std. Std means standard deviation. Okay, control and enter. So this will calculate all these functions. So we have mean, median, and standard deviation. If you want to calculate variance, okay, we have the variance. So for that, we have the function is var. The function name is var, var. So this will calculate the variance. Okay, and if you want to check the minimum or maximum, we are using that also. First we have is maximum, and for the maximum we are using max function, max. And if you want to calculate the minimum, then we have min function, min. If you want to calculate the sum of all the values in array, okay, so we have the function sum, okay. If you want to calculate the product, if you want to calculate the product, okay, then we have the function is prod, function name is prod. This will calculate the product. Okay, so let's try all these all together. Control and enter. So very interesting. We are taking all double digit values. Okay. So these are the values. So when I will enter, so you can see we have the first we have is mean, then median, then standard deviation, then we can have the variance. Okay, then after we have maximum value, minimum value, and sum of the R values, and this is the product. This is the last function which we use here. Okay, so all the operations value are here. If you want to make some more beautiful code, then what you will do, you can use here string function. Okay, so here you will write mean of array, mean of, you can write simply mean. Okay, here you can write median. Here is comma, comma is required. Here is the second is median. Okay, so I try only these values. So I copy this entire statement, control, enter, and here I enter the same values and enter. Okay, so this will appear like in this way. Similarly, you can update all the other values. Okay, so this will present as in this way. Okay, so this part you can do yourself. Very simple functions are there, and we have the floor function and ceiling function. Can you please let me know anyone about the floor function and ceiling function? How you can describe? Anyone? Floor and ceiling function. Anyone, please? What are the meaning of floor function and ceiling function? N is equal to, I have float. I am audible to all of you? Please let me know I am audible. No voice from your side.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, no one speaking. I'm asking something. What about floor and ceiling function?
So floor function is greatest integers, and ceiling function is your smallest uh, integer function.
Floor function is the greatest integer.
Yes, sir.
What is the meaning of greatest integer? Please let me know what is the meaning of greatest integer. Please.
Definition is not. I don't know this. It's just
And what about ceiling function?
sir, example से समझो.
Yes, please.
So if value is 5.45, then flow
Uh,
function is 5 and ceiling function is 6.
okay. So let's check. So we have the print, and here first we are checking the floor value. Okay. We are using here np dot floor function is there, and n is the argument. I copy and paste here. So we will check both values together. And this is the ceiling. SEIL. Sorry, energy. So the function name is also, we have C abbreviation, it's abbreviation CEIL. Okay. So control and enter. Here we are entering the value is suppose I'm entering 5.6. Okay. So 5.6 lies between 5 and 6. Okay. So for the floor, it is to the left first integer, and for the ceiling, right first integer. Okay. So these are the values of floor function and ceiling function. Got it? You can take one more example. If I am entering here 4.3, the values are 4 and 5. Floor is 5, ceiling value is 5. You can check one more experiment, 6.1. Okay, I think the concept is clear now. And we have very interesting function, round function. Okay, round function. This is the last example. Round function. So we can use this syntax. N is the input, and here we will use a round function. Okay, this is the round function. N comma 2. Can you please let me know what is the meaning of n comma 2? Okay, let's check it. Control and enter. We enter the value here. Suppose that 12 point something. Enter. If I am doing like added space I have is 3. I am entering the value. So If you are using 3 added place, we have 3 decimal places value. If you are using 2, then we have 2. Okay, so in this way you can use the round function. So the applications of all these functions which we have discussed right now, we have various applications in artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, engineering, finance, healthcare, research. Okay, so we cover here about various examples. So these are about 25 functions we have covered here. Okay, so if there is any question, then please you are free to ask for me. Any question, please. The session is open for discussion. You are permitted to unmute your mic to ask your query. Yes, please. I am waiting for your question. Any question, please? No question. Okay. Okay, please expand the floor and ceiling function. I can share my screen again. And you can see, okay. See, uh, if the value lies between 2 x, we have less than and equal to, less than and equal to, sorry, less than and less than 3. Okay, so if the value of x lies between 2 and 3, okay, then floor value is 2 and ceiling function is 3. Suppose that the value of x we have is 2.5. So the floor value of this will be 2 and ceiling value of this number will be 3. Okay, as you can see, if I am entering here control and enter, the value of 2 value is 2.5. See, the floor value is 2 and the other is 3. So these are the floor and ceiling function. Any more question? Okay. So now, dear Face, if there is no question, we can conclude the today's session.
Yes, sir.
The content which we presented today will be available in your WhatsApp group. Okay. You can find all these in your WhatsApp group.
Okay. As we conclude today's session, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Dr. May Chand for today's insightful lecture on mathematical functions in NumPy. Today's session strengthened our understanding of how NumPy simplifies numerical and statistical computations. By exploring a variety of mathematical functions, we learned how complex calculations can be performed efficiently, making NumPy an indispensable tool for data analysis, scientific computing, and machine learning applications. I encourage everyone to revisit today's examples and practice these functions with different datasets. Regular hands-on practice will help you become more confident in working with numerical data and prepare you for more advanced topics in AI and data analytics. I would also like to thank all participants for your active participation, thoughtful questions, and continued enthusiasm throughout today's session. Your engagement continues to make this training program interactive and enriching. Thank you all for joining us today. Have a wonderful night, and we look forward to seeing you in the next session.
Thanks, dear
Good afternoon.
participant. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Doc.
Any question, please?
Doc, good
Yeah.
afternoon.
Good
Good afternoon,
afternoon,
Doc.
Ish Mohammed. How are you?
I'm fine, Doc. Please, the program that you said it will be on August 20, was it August 4th to 7th, or August 2nd to 7th? Please, the registration, is it, please, how much is it for the registration, Doc? With all due respect.
About this program or the next program which is going to start on 1st August?
Of 1st August.
Okay, you can chat me on the WhatsApp, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Doc, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. But Doc, please, wouldn't it coincide with the current lecture? Is going to end somewhere August.
Please text me there. I will reply on the WhatsApp, okay? Text me on WhatsApp. I will reply there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, dear participant,
thank
good
you,
night. And the file which I present today is there in the WhatsApp group, okay? Thank you to all.